Hi Raphael, just a quick critique of sh0120. So this is to expand on my notes that I gave you earlier. Let's go through quickly. Let's play this through once. Here we go. Right, it's coming along really well. I just wanted to explain further what I meant by plussing it a bit more. I mean, there are lots of spots in it where things are freezing in space. I've mentioned that a few times. So for example, you can watch this right wrist here, and it's sort of dead in space for quite a while there. There are lots of little things like that, so just keep an eye on every little part and make sure that nothing is completely dead. Right, now watch the head. This is what I was talking about, just sort of livening up the head, and that is, if you watch that head, it's pretty much locked pointing. Let me just move this aside so you can see me. It's locked pointing forward. It sort of tilts up at one point, but it doesn't do anything but stay pointed forward like that. And you've got so many missed opportunity there, because what you could do is, hey, you can do a little bit of that. And the other thing I do is sort of go, hey, do a little bit of bobbing, and think about doing some eye darts as well, just in that little area. So around about here, make these eyes here and here, just kind of look that way and that way. So it's like you might go, hey, there's lots of little opportunities to look around like that. Then the other thing was just the end pose here. It's kind of okay, but and you've got the head twisting in there now. But we don't feel the head twist, because it just goes from forward pose to twisted pose, and it's so subtle you barely notice it. But whereas you could move that head in another direction, the breakdown for that pose could be somewhere completely different before it comes back. And the same applies for the entire figure, really. I mean, you could go. If I can move my chair out of the way quickly. Point is, you get into this, catch the thing, and you go. And I just want to see a little bit of that. Maybe you keep the figure moving, because at the moment it just kind of strikes that pose. It's kind of straight, but it'd be really great to feel like he was sort of hunched round a little bit more, really targeted into it, and maybe he's shifting his weight around a little bit in that spot. Just kind of break it out, make it a bit more dynamic. Now, one of the things that I really want to do is kind of break up this shoulder area, and I think it's because it just looks to me like the two shoulders are directly in front of each other here, and somehow you have to force that back shoulder to be somewhere else, and to create that diagonal I was talking about. And now I don't know if it's a problem with the rig, because you've had to curl that around. I appreciate you might be having to curl the shoulder around that line there, but it'd be good if you could in some way perhaps bring the right shoulder down over here and the left shoulder up over here, just kind of break it up a little bit and make it feel like he's pushing his back more towards the camera. So in other words, that sort of thing. Those are the main points. I don't think there's everything else is kind of coming together now. So you're mostly covered. Just wanted you to add a little bit of action on the mouth there. So perhaps he goes, hey, something like that. Just between poses, gives a little bit of a breakdown. Give him a bit of a munching action, perhaps. There's any number of things you could do there. It's just at the moment his mouth is sort of a little bit dead. I think the other thing I was pointing out. Oh no, the eyebrows are okay on this one. Yeah, those are the main points. That button did look like it's a little lower down. I'm used to seeing the button a bit higher up. So not quite sure why it isn't higher up, but don't worry about that anyway. Just have a look, see if you can push the button up to make it look the normal height. Other than that, It's all come together really well. Good luck with it. Keep it up.